Welcome back to our channel. We're so glad to have you here with us today. Today, we're diving into a topic that many of us have encountered but might not always recognize: the signs that someone is extremely envious or jealous of you. It's something that can affect our lives in subtle yet significant ways. You know that green-eyed monster? It's real, folks, and it can rear its ugly head in some pretty sneaky ways. Envy and jealousy can manifest in behaviors that are often overlooked or misinterpreted. We're going to unpack 10 telltale signs that someone might be harboring some not-so-positive feelings towards you. Because, let's be honest, none of us want to be blindsided by envy and jealousy. These emotions can create tension and misunderstandings in our relationships. It's like a poison that can eat away at relationships. And who needs that kind of negativity in their life? Recognizing these signs early can help you address the issue before it escalates. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who exhibits these behaviors is out to get you, but it's important to be aware of the signs so you can protect yourself and your emotional well-being. Understanding the root causes of envy and jealousy can also help you empathize with others and navigate these tricky situations more effectively. Knowledge is power, and we're all about empowering you with the tools you need to navigate the complexities of human relationships. By being informed, you can make better decisions and foster healthier connections with those around you. So buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the world of envy and jealousy. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this. We'll explore real-life examples, psychological insights, and practical tips to help you identify and manage these emotions, whether they're coming from others or even from within yourself. Stay tuned and let's get started on this enlightening journey together. Look, it's human nature to compare ourselves to others every now and then. We're all guilty of it. But when someone is constantly measuring themselves against you and coming up short in their own mind, that's a big red flag. They may constantly talk about how much better you are at certain things, how much more you have, or how much easier your life seems. This constant comparison stems from a place of insecurity and envy. They see your successes as their own failures, and that can breed resentment. And let's be clear, folks, this isn't about healthy competition. Healthy competition can be motivating. This is about feeling inadequate and threatened by your accomplishments. It's toxic and can be incredibly draining for you to be around. So, how do you deal with someone who's always comparing themselves to you? Well, first you need to recognize that their behavior is not about you, it's about them and their own insecurities. You land that big promotion, you're over the moon, and you share the good news with someone you thought would be happy for you. But instead of genuine excitement and congratulations, they hit you with a lukewarm response, downplaying your accomplishment like it's no big deal. Sound familiar? This, my friends, is a classic sign of envy. They can't handle seeing you succeed because it reminds them of their own perceived shortcomings, so they try to minimize your achievements to make themselves feel better. They might say things like, "Oh, you were just in the right place at the right time," or "Anyone could have done that." They might even try to find fault with your success, pointing out all the reasons why it's not that impressive. This kind of behavior is hurtful and disrespectful. It's like they're trying to steal your joy and replace it with their own negativity. And you know what? You don't have to stand for it. You know, folks, envy can be a powerful emotion. It can make people do things they wouldn't normally do, say things they don't mean. And one of the ugliest ways it rears its head is through rumors and gossip. When someone is truly green with envy, they might start spreading whispers behind your back. They might twist your words, exaggerate your actions, or even outright fabricate stories to make you look bad. Why? Because misery loves company. They can't stand seeing you shine, so they try to dim your light by tarnishing your reputation. They want to drag you down to their level, to make themselves feel better about their own shortcomings. But you know what? That's a coward's way out. If you find yourself the target of malicious gossip, don't let it break you. Hold your head high, knowing that their actions say more about them than they do about you. Remember, people throw stones at things that shine. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? And sometimes it is. But other times, it can be a big old red flag that someone's got a serious case of the green-eyed monster. Think about it. When someone is constantly copying your style, your ideas, even your mannerisms, it can be a sign that they're not comfortable in their own skin. They're so busy trying to be you that they're losing themselves in the process. Now, there's a difference between being inspired by someone and straight up copying them. It's one thing to admire your fashion sense and try to incorporate some of your favorite trends into your own wardrobe. But it's another thing entirely to go out and buy the exact same outfit, head to toe, just to try and steal your thunder. You know, folks, life's full of ups and downs. We all face setbacks, disappointments, and sometimes outright failures. It's a part of the human experience. But you know what separates the good folks from the bad? How they react when you're down in the dumps. A true friend, someone who genuinely cares about you, will offer a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, and words of encouragement when you stumble. They'll help you dust yourself off and get back in the game. But then you've got those other folks, the ones who are secretly harboring envy and resentment. You know, folks, we've all been there. Received a compliment that just didn't sit right. It's that moment when someone says something that sounds nice, but there's an underlying tone that makes you second-guess their intentions. It's like someone tried to sneak a spoonful of vinegar into your sweet tea. You take a sip, expecting sweetness, but instead, you're left with a sour taste in your mouth. These are backhanded compliments, and they're a classic move in the playbook of envy. They come wrapped in a pretty package, but inside, there's a sting. They might sound nice on the surface, but underneath, there's a layer of judgment or negativity simmering just below. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, hiding its true nature. Someone struggling with their own insecurities might try to make you question yourself, to subtly knock you down a peg. They might say something like, "You look great for your age," implying that age should have diminished your appearance. It's a way for them to feel better about their own shortcomings by highlighting yours, even if it's disguised as a compliment. They might say, "You're so brave to wear that," suggesting that your choice is questionable. Now, these backhanded compliments can be sneaky. They often come from people who are close to us, making them even harder to spot. You might not even realize you've been hit with one until later, when you're replaying the conversation in your head. It's that moment of clarity when you think, "Wait a minute, was that really a compliment?" But trust your gut, folks. Your intuition is a powerful tool. If something feels off, it probably is. If a compliment leaves you feeling confused, uncomfortable, or just plain bad, it might be a red flag. It's important to pay attention to how these comments make you feel. The person dishing these out might not even realize they're doing it. They could be so wrapped up in their own issues that they don't see the impact of their words. They could be grappling with their own issues, comparing themselves to you, and trying to level the playing field. Envy can be a powerful motivator, driving people to say things they might not fully mean. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. You have the power to recognize these comments for what they are and not let them affect your self-worth. Recognizing these backhanded compliments for what they are is the first step to protecting yourself from the negativity they carry. Once you see them for what they are, you can choose how to respond. You can address it directly, saying something like, "That sounded like a compliment, but it didn't feel like one." Or you can simply choose to ignore it and not let it affect you. Surround yourself with people who lift you up with genuine compliments. True friends and loved ones will celebrate your successes and make you feel good about yourself. And remember, folks, self-reflection is key. Take time to understand your own worth and value. When you know your strengths and embrace your flaws, backhanded compliments lose their power. So, the next time you receive a compliment that feels off, trust your instincts. Recognize it for what it is, and don't let it shake your confidence. You deserve to feel good about yourself, without the hidden barbs of envy. Stay confident, stay positive, and remember that your worth isn't defined by someone else's insecurities. You are enough, just as you are. We've talked about the green-eyed monster, folks, and how envy can rear its ugly head in some pretty sneaky ways. Envy isn't always loud and obvious. Sometimes it lurks in the shadows, manifesting in subtle, almost imperceptible behaviors. Sometimes it's not about what someone says, but what they don't say. The silence can be deafening, and the lack of engagement can speak volumes. We're talking about avoidance, the silent treatment, the sudden cold shoulder. These actions can be more telling than words, revealing a deeper emotional struggle. This can be a major red flag that someone's dealing with some serious envy issues. When someone can't bring themselves to be around you, It might be because your presence triggers their insecurities. Now, there are plenty of reasons why someone might distance themselves. Life is complex, and personal issues can make social interactions challenging. Maybe they're going through something personal, or maybe you had a disagreement that needs resolving. It's important to consider these possibilities before jumping to conclusions. But when someone consistently avoids you, especially after you've experienced success or happiness, it's time to take notice. Think about it. If your achievements seem to coincide with their withdrawal, it could be a sign of envy. If you're feeling envious of someone, spending time with them can be tough. It's a constant reminder of what you feel you lack, and that can be incredibly painful. It's like rubbing salt in a wound. Every interaction can feel like a reminder of your own perceived shortcomings. Every time you see their happy relationship, their successful career, their beautiful new house, it's a reminder of what you feel you lack. These feelings can be overwhelming and difficult to manage. So, what's the easier option? Avoidance. It's a way to protect themselves from those painful feelings of inadequacy. By staying away, they can temporarily escape the discomfort. It's a way to protect themselves from those painful feelings of inadequacy. But avoidance is only a temporary fix. It doesn't address the root of the problem. But here's the thing, folks. Avoidance doesn't solve anything. It just creates distance and resentment. The more you avoid, the more isolated you become, and the harder it is to bridge the gap later on. It just creates distance and resentment. Instead of facing the issue head-on, avoidance allows it to fester and grow, making it even more challenging to resolve in the future. So if you notice someone giving you the cold shoulder, consider reaching out. A simple conversation can sometimes break the ice and pave the way for understanding and reconciliation. You know, folks, life isn't a competition, but try telling that to someone consumed by envy. They see everything as a zero-sum game where your win is their loss. And one of the most telltale signs of this envy is the constant need to one-up you. It's like they're in a constant race, always trying to stay one step ahead. You get a promotion? They're suddenly gunning for a bigger title. You buy a new car? They're talking about their European vacation. It's a never-ending cycle of trying to prove they're better, they have more, they're happier, and it's exhausting. Now, let's talk about those folks who are constantly critical, always finding a flaw in everything you do. They're like human fault finders, always ready to point out what you did wrong, how you could have done it better, or why it wasn't good enough. You know the type. And the thing is, their critiques, they're often disguised as constructive criticism. But let's be real, folks, it's rarely constructive. It's just plain negativity, often delivered with a little smirk or a backhanded compliment. You know, like, oh, that's a nice dress, but it makes you look a little hippie. The truth is, folks, these people, they're threatened by you. They see your successes, your happiness, and they feel inadequate in comparison, so they tear you down to try and build themselves up. It's a classic sign of insecurity and, you guessed it, envy. Remember, you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift and support you, not those who constantly nitpick and criticize. Don't let their negativity dim your shine. Now, we've all encountered those folks who are just a little too friendly, a little too eager to please. They shower you with compliments, agree with everything you say, and seem to be your biggest fan. But something about it just feels off. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like they're putting on a show, wearing a mask of friendliness to hide their true feelings. And often what's lurking beneath that facade is, you guessed it, envy. See, these folks, they're threatened by you, but they're also trying to get something from you. Maybe it's your connections, your resources, or simply your approval. So they lay on the charm thick, hoping to win you over and reap the benefits of being in your good graces. But here's the thing about fake friends. They're like cheap perfume. They might smell sweet at first, but the scent quickly fades, leaving you with a headache. Real friends, on the other hand, they're like fine wine. They get better with time. Well, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today talking about the signs of envy and how to recognize them in your own life. And let me tell you, this stuff is important because when you can identify these behaviors, you can start to protect yourself from the negativity and toxicity that often comes with them. Remember, you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, support you, and celebrate your successes. Don't waste your time and energy on those who are secretly hoping for your downfall. You're better than that. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. And remember, recognizing these signs can help you navigate your relationships more effectively. See you next time.